Hello, this is Mark Wildman of Wildman Athletica, and today we are going to talk about our single arm front and side flag. This is an evolution of our two-handed front press. We will review the front press, then we will take away the bottom hand, we will push it out in front, and then we will push it out to the side, the end goal of this movement. Our front flag starts with two hands on from the order position. The order position is the position that is most important in mace and heavy club swinging. Order position means upper arm, vertical, lower arm, 90 degrees to the upper arm, elbow pinned to hip. If our elbow is kicked out to the side, it gets very hard when you try to move this to single arm movements. So roll the elbow in towards the body, make it vertical from the front and make it vertical from the side. Bottom hand supports. The two-handed front flag presses straight out in front. Hand comes out to the height of the nose. Press straight out until elbows lock out. Elbows lock out, roll the elbow pits to the sky, drive the shoulders away from the ears to squeeze the lats and squeeze the glutes to create a proper base of support. The glute squeeze is the important part. It gets harder to do this with one hand if the glute squeeze is not there. So when you're standing up, if your body is round, go the opposite way. Tuck the tailbone underneath, squeeze the glutes, pull the belly button towards the spine. That stabilizes the core. Think of it as doing an abdominal plank in the standing position. Right hand, right side of the face, in front of the right shoulder, bottom hand supports. Press out to the center, right hand directly in front of the nose. Press straight out, squeeze the triceps, elbow pits point towards the sky, bring the elbows back until the elbow touches the body. Top hand elbow touching the body is the end of the movement. Press out, pull back. Press out, pull back. Keep the glutes on the entire time. Press out, pull back. When you have figured out how to do the core control for that movement, you can add complexity to the system instead of adding weight by removing one hand and going to one hand. Key points when doing that. When you press out, the hand is no longer going to track to the center in front of your nose. It's going to press straight out and it should end up directly in front of the right shoulder. One hand on. The elbow starting pinned to the hip is the important part. That is the strongest position to start and end the movement. Press straight out, hand, shoulder height, squeeze the tricep, lock out, elbow pit points towards the sky. The glute staying on supports all of this structure. Pull the elbow in. The movement is over when the elbow touches the hip. Elbow starts at the hip, press straight out, lock out, pull back in, elbow touches hip. Press out, lock out, bring it back, elbow touches hip, press out, lock out, come back, elbow touches hip. Your glutes stay on the entire time. That is the important part. Without the glute squeeze, you're going to be doing a lot of weird things to your core. Some people may survive it, but the best way for everybody to survive it is to squeeze the glutes the entire time. The side press version of this is way more entertaining, and it also tends to be easier for most people in the beginning. The front seems easier, but the side is actually easier. The starting position is the same. Elbow on hip. Externally rotate the arm 90 degrees, which is hard for many people on its own, so they should do a bunch of training cycles with mills and reverse mills first. Press straight out. Arm should be generally parallel to the ground, so the wrist will be in optimum position. If the wrist is too low, the wrist will crane. If the wrist is too high, it will be difficult for people to close the top part of their hand and use the index finger and their thumb effectively. Starting from our order position, elbow pinned to hip, externally rotate, don't move the feet, squeeze the glutes to create a base of support, press straight out, arm generally parallel to the ground, pull elbow in, touch elbow to hip, press straight out, bring it back in, press straight out, squeeze the glutes the hardest when the mace is at full extension, pull it back in. Rotate back to center, put it down any way you want that is safe. This is a shoulder exercise, but this is really a core exercise. Think of this as doing a standing plank. The longer the length of the lever and the heavier the weight at the top, the harder this is on your core. The important part is to squeeze your glutes. Don't move your feet and get that arm out at 90 degrees. Lock out the tricep. If your elbow is bent, it will be very, very hard on you. The goal is to achieve elbow lockout, elbow lockout, elbow lockout. Elbow lockout is the end point of the movement. The return position is always, always, always elbow to hip.